good to chat to you again. This is the third time. I think third time's the charm. I've spoken to you the last time, and I spoke to Danny the first time on your very first encounter. So, um, how's it all going? It's been pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's been really full on the last couple months. Really just having this record that we've sat on for a while and kind of been living and breathing. It feels like, my life has been about this record since October last year. And, we were working on it throughout the previous couple years, but it's been a full year. Wow, we're in October already. It's been like a full year of living and breathing this thing, and now we get to kind of run on the home stretch of getting it out there. So it's a really exciting time. It feels like the culmination of a lot of effort from everyone involved, and I'm feeling so good about the record.
Yeah, because I mean, I think it's because I think that's just the thing people often forget if they're not particularly in bands or they don't write songs, that when you're probably touring another album, you're doing the beginnings of other songs. So that to unbirth that baby is quite, like it's the new stuff we're playing tonight is not new stuff. And so you want
Yeah.
to, get that out there. It's kind of a hard concept, isn't it, to kind of to get that, and particularly with this album, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. It's something, especially when we've done this record that is so personal and so kind of emotionally charged, to now be at the point where we're like sharing that with people feels like quite an intimate act in a way that nothing we've ever done before has felt like. So it's a really nice place to be, but it's also, a place of like vulnerability and a place of searching for connection with people that we have never really had before. We've always been I guess we've been bad parents to our records. I feel like we have created them and then put them down and then walked away and been like, interact with the world as you will, take a look at it if you want, whatever. Like it's no longer ours, but I feel like we feel like this record is still ours, and we're trying to nurture it and look after it and introduce it to people and not just like leave it there for people to look at, you know?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely. I mean, I think every single one of your releases is super powerful, but I definitely think this one's got, it's more emotive, and I think So I mean, it's like, um, would you say, obviously, I mean, we're going to dive into kind of some of the core themes about it, but obviously, was this one of the kind of most intense ones to make in terms of, subject matter, not the kind of production values and all that, the more kind of the process given where it's sitting.
Funnily enough, no, this was actually our most relaxed and enjoyable album writing process, which is funny because I feel like it is the record that sounds like it would be through the most turmoil, but really it's kind of a few things coalescing. It was the fact that it's our third album. We know how to make an album now. Like we've made enough mistakes to know what we want to do and what we don't want to do. And I feel like it's the most kind of like growth we've had as people over the last few years. Kind of Danny getting their autism diagnosis and that really reframing their entire life and their kind of existence, and then that obviously changes the dynamics within us as a unit, and we've grown so much closer, and we gave ourselves time and space to make this record, and it nothing felt rushed, nothing felt claustrophobic. We weren't at each other's throats. It was a really healthy environment for the most part, and I think that allowed us to kind of access the more intense emotions, because you don't feel like someone's gonna take something the wrong way, or people, we were just like very respectful of each other throughout that process. So yeah, it was the most calm, cool and collected we've ever been, and that really allowed us to focus on getting the most out of the art that we were trying to create.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's surprising because it's. I mean, probably I suppose because none of the albums are very light and easy albums. You're definitely not going for that light and easy or middle of the road. But this, I mean, that's good to hear that process is, and certainly live, not really a calm band, and um, it's it's the roller coaster which kind of fits in. So. Now, obviously the album's called Unself. Now, do you think that because the title can kind of almost be confrontational, or it can talk about transcendence, or kind of breaking things down and building it up? What does it mean to you, or to the band? Obviously, we have touched on that. Some of the core themes are about Danny's diagnosis, and also the gender identity, foundations as well. How does it kind of crystallize as a title for you or the band,
Yeah, for me, it really, I mean, there are some like very specifics about the word and it has all these different meanings, but for me, what it represents is the change of approach that we had on this record. With everything that we have done before, it has been, I found myself doing this. Like, this is how the previous records have felt, that they're closed off, that they are lyrically and emotionally hidden behind all these walls and layers of like metaphor and meaning and verbose language. And a lot of that stuff is still there, but Unself kind of feels like it is the release of that. And it is not a record that looks inwards, but it's a record that looks outwards. And um to remove the self from the equation is that we are looking at um these subjects and these ideas, and yes, it's from our perspective, and some of the songs are very personal in nature, but it's not about putting up this wall and guarding all of these things. It is about reaching out to other people and saying, hey, we feel these things too. And there are so many people out there that are feeling the crunch of the kind of worldwide financial crisis that we're all in, people that feel like their, very existence is threatened, people that feel like they can't afford to fucking pay their rent, or that they, have felt othered from childhood or never felt like they fit in at school. And like all of those idea feel like they can't turn a corner without looking at a fucking advert. Like all of these things are ideas that we have all felt in certain walks of life, and Unself is just about reaching out to other people and saying, yeah, like these are all valid feelings and these are all things that we feel too. And isn't that kind of fucked up that everyone has shared negativity? um yeah, that's where it's at for me. And it is, like I say, not something we've ever done before, not something we felt like we were capable of doing as a band. Like it never felt like we wanted to talk about anything quote unquote real. And if we did, you know, you can't fucking tell with the lyrics.
Yeah, I was going to say you got to read between the subtext. I was going to say because there's I think yeah, you kind of, obviously you've summed up really well because of what's going on. I find that the kind of, because I have heard the album, I think there's kind of beauty in that brutality. There's kind of, we've got the suffocation of the world, but kind of, that light shining out. So I think that's because it's, yeah, as you said, it's everything was quite dark and grim on the other albums. Even the album cover, which I always love. I have to credit the band on picking a amazing cover yet again. But there's some more light in that. But yeah, it's that balance. You can hear it in there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
I think it's our most balanced record for sure. But like even like the artwork, we worked with an artist from the Netherlands and we commissioned him to make the artwork, and he just painted how the record made him feel. And
oh wow, that's amazing.
that was the that he did does like 11, 12, 13 pieces for the album, and this was the one that really spoke to us. And then all of the other artwork has been used throughout the packaging and throughout the promotion. So all of the color schemes used online, any texture
Wow.
in the mailing list. All of that is artwork that Yerst made as part of the part of the album campaign. So it's been really amazing to kind of find that visual representation of the music
Mm,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been a new approach and a new outlook for us. But like, I'm a big proponent of saying that like it would be embarrassing to me if we were making the same kind of music that we were making 10 years ago when we first started this band. It would show like a lack of growth, a lack of kind of personal growth, and a lack of artistic ambition. Whereas, now what's really exciting about this record is that this is a real snapshot of who we are right now and who we have become over the last few years. And I'm looking forward to, okay, who are we going to be when we make this next record, and how is that going to be reflected in what we do? That's so much more exciting to me than just being like, I want to try and make a version of X, or I want to try and do this. No, I want to find a way to emotionally express the four of us as individuals.
Yeah, I mean that comes out because like I love your catalog, but even for me it was surprising, like even just from the very start, the first track that got me because it's just, it's very um it's very beautiful, and it eases you in, and then as we're getting towards the end, and I was like, but even that wasn't typical of going from, uh light into heavy or anything like that. And it's bookended either way by that, and even the tracks in between, I was even quite startled, which is good because it's yeah, that first track really, yeah, that's something almost quite different. I know, you've had moments where it's gone into that melody and that, almost that clean piece, but yeah, pretty phenomenal. How, like, for those tracks or some of the tracks on the album, was there moments where you kind of, when you first played it, or that everyone kind of stood still and went, what the fuck, this is, incredible, like there seems a few moments from this record.
Yeah, there's definitely the first time, so the intro specifically, was an idea that Danny had floated as an idea and had tabbed it up, and so we'd heard it kind of instrumentally, but through Guitar Pro, through a computer, it didn't make any sense. I was like, I get the heavy bit, sure, that makes sense. That's it's cool, really love it, super heavy. What is with these acoustic guitar chords? Like what's the deal? Like how does this work? I never imagined it would be singing over it. So I was like, how is shouting gonna work over this? Like it just didn't make sense. So we got into pre-production in October, and I asked Danny, oh, maybe it was in January, either or. We had 2 weeks of pre-production, and basically we recorded the demo instrumentally, and we were talking about the intro and what it would be. And I was like, Danny, just go into the live room and just record the vocals. Like that's it. We just need to hear what it is because this doesn't make any sense. And that hearing that vocal take absolutely floored me. Like
Yeah,
the final album is, I think it's just the original vocal take from the pre-production that was recorded, months,
unreal.
just one take. And yeah, it just it was one of those moments where I was like, there's no other way we can open the record after hearing that. And it was so unexpected, but so beautiful, and just yeah, it really emotionally moving to hear, my friend singing those words in particular. It's a really melancholy song, and the original, it's a 200-year-old gospel song, This World Is Not My Home, and has been kind of interpolated in different ways, kind of like throughout the folk tradition. And so Danny took um their favorite version and then really switch the lyrics around to fit the theme. So the original meaning of the song was this world is not my home because I'm going to heaven, and that is where I'm going to be accepted, and it's going to be great. And it's like this light, happy song about, none of my troubles in the world matter because I'm going to heaven.
Yeah.
Whereas the kind of interpretation from Danny was, this world is not my home because I feel like I was built wrong for it, and I feel like nothing makes sense to me and nothing feels right. And it's just so heartbreaking to know that that is how your best friend has felt throughout some of their life, and to
Yeah.
like have that emotional connection through the music that we've made together is so special. And I'm just so in awe of kind of their resilience and their ability to express themselves through this song. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. And um yeah, I could not be happier with the way that that theme kind of bookends the record and has really become the spine of what this album is. Very sad, don't get me wrong, but like
Mm.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is beautiful because it's just, yeah, that it's, it's like to have, yeah, what a vessel to express that, like it's just it's pretty incredible, and it's also obviously, brave as well, it just yeah, but it's just, yeah, I think that's fantastic. And that, I think even that, those the roller coaster of those emotions and the tone there really across the record. There's even other songs where it dips down and there's quiet bits. It's yeah, pretty astonishing. And the band produced the record, is that correct?
So
Or
we
record?
worked with Joe Clayton, who is a very good friend of ours, and um, he recorded the Curse These Metal Hands project that we did. He did the cover split that we did, and he plays in the band Pine, so is part of Curse These Metal Hands. Is kind of our one of our oldest friends we've made through music. Was the first band to ever take us on tour in Europe. Like, kind of really showed us the ropes, and so working with Joe was just like uh the fifth member that had always been there. He knew
Yeah,
all of us well. He knows where the band has been, knows where we're going, really understands the relationship dynamics, and just immediately kind of made things feel comfortable and facilitated like a really good creative space, and knew the vibes for the record immediately, was like so on board with the sound and the tone. And we had a lot of time for experimentation, but really Joe was coming in with really good ideas straight away because he just could also see that vision. Um, and it was great. So yeah, we worked with him on the record, and he mixed it as well. And yeah, just
yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sound is just perfect because it's very, it's dense as in deep, as you're talking about, the tone is pretty important, but it's, there's no overproduction or it's not dull. I think it's from start to end, it's just, you want it to be a searing album, but the quiet pieces are just, it's also, yeah,
Yeah, we really wanted to. We talked about kind of dynamics being in this band, and live we have a real big focus on the quiet bits being quiet, probably to our detriment sometimes, because if people are talking in the room, there are some bits in the set where you will hear that, and it is so magical when, especially headline shows, will be playing a show and gets to a quiet bit and it is dead silent. It is like such a magical thing that I love. So I will often dedicate quiet songs to anyone that is talking throughout our set, which I but Connor doesn't. But yeah, so we really wanted to kind of replicate that on this record. So like it is not ideal for if you're listening on public transport or if you're in the car. Like, a quiet space is the best place to enjoy this record because the quiet parts are that quiet and the loud parts do hit you really hard. So, yeah, it's something that we have always wanted to do, just to really lean into the dynamism of what this band is. And it's yeah, it's probably not the smartest choice, but it's fun and I think it's interesting and it makes the record a more exciting and dynamic listen, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because one of my questions towards the end was going to be, yeah, what's the ideal setting to listen to it? Because I could almost picture, you know, on headphones in a dark room or whatever, not because of just to, like the nuances of it. I think rather than a, not a, a deeply depressing in a cave kind of album, but it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because it's certainly live there is those bits, it's we know when I know the last time when you were here in Australia, the bits that Danny sings away from the microphone, those bits, and I think I think I spoke to you after that gig, and I just like I love that bit because that's people you gotta sort of pay attention, but that was stepping away was and there's even more room with these new songs for that would really
Yeah. I think that it's just about like trying to do something that feels interesting and exciting for us. And I think that yeah, the perfect place for listening, I think it's truly wherever like your people are most comfortable. Like that is something that we have always been a big um kind of advocate for is enjoying the music in whichever way works best for you. So we don't really try to encourage people to mosh or anything like that because like if you want to just stand and watch, that's great. Like that's how you want to do it. So we want people to engage with it on their own terms, but I do think that giving it some time and space, you'll get more from the record than it being like a passive listen. But I feel like that for most music. Most music that I really like, I will get so much more from with really intentional listening. And it's just, I guess, being a fan of uh more intense music is the risk that you run. And I have found myself trying to find more time to listen to music and just doing it while I'm working. And it's nice to like be have listening to more music. That's the goal, right? But it's not proper. It's not intentional listening, which is yeah, it's a different thing.
Yeah, yeah, big time when you're there. Yeah, I bought some vinyl the other day, but then I was getting interruptions and I was trying to do other things, and then when I actually sat down on the headphones and all those little pieces and variances in it, you can definitely hear. But we know that life's pretty busy in that way to take that time, but it definitely deserves it, I think. But any great record does deserve that. Have you played any of the songs live yet? Where's the where's that at? If or have you introduced some in the obviously it's about
Yeah.
releasing the record now, but
We started playing There Is No Warmth live on in like May this year when we kind of got out the studio and went straight on tour. Um, we were like, I mean, fuck it. We've just recorded this. It is like fresh. It's the most kind of straightforward. It's pretty short. Let's like throw it in the set and see how it goes. And people were really into it. And then we started adding in Hang Them in Your Head after that
yeah.
came out. We had some festivals right after that, which was really good fun. And then we played Let Us Live at the festival we played in Spain a few weeks ago, which was actually with Carla Antonelli in attendance, who is the Spanish senator who was featured on the. We sampled her voice
Oh
for a
yes,
plea.
yeah.
She came
Unreal.
out to flew out to see us at this festival and hung
Brilliant.
out and had dinner and was really amazing. So yeah, we've had some really special experiences with playing these songs so far already. But I am so excited to play the tracks live as part of a headline set for a group of people that are into it and know what they're getting into and like have intentionally come to see us. Like it is such a special experience and connection. Like our headline tours have been some of the most amazing memories that I've ever had through doing this band. So yeah, it is such a joy to be able to do a headline tour for a record that already means so much to me, you know?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the headline shows are more, festivals are fun and the other slots, but it's yeah, that to really yeah, deliver that. And if you've got any plans to come back to Australia, I know this is, it's it I because I know it was very well received. I know the yeah, particularly with the Melbourne show, that was pretty intense.
It's really tough to get out there, but we
Yeah,
are working. We
yeah,
have some people at the minute trying to make it happen for the end of the year. I am so keen to come back. Like it has been such an amazing experience getting to go out there and play some shows and even just to visit, let alone play shows, was
yeah.
cool. So yeah, we are working on it, and hopefully, all being well, it'll be next year, and we will be out there. And I want to
Yeah.
play some that we didn't get to last time as well, and kind of you know make it a bit more of a thing.
Yeah, because last time they've been quite quick. Oh, well, the first time was just the one show, and then last time it was yeah a very quick run. So that'd be yeah but yeah that'd be awesome just for selfish reasons, just to see again. Congratulations and thank you so much for your music. I think yeah it's an absolutely brilliant record, and yeah I look forward to it, and particularly with the layouts and all that, with the art is on top of that as well. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I say if anyone listening wants to get the vinyl, we have it available at Imprint Merch in Australia, so they don't even
Oh,
have to
wow.
get anything. Which is yeah, we were really keen to after how well that tour went. They did us such a great service sorting out our merch for that. So we've set up shop with them. So yeah,
That's
we'll have
brilliant.
CDs and vinyl available in Australia.
Yeah, that's very soon because it's October 24, isn't it? Is that the release date? Yeah. Yeah. All right, well I'll let you go. Always a pleasure, chatting, and yeah, definitely look forward to the release date, even though I've heard the album, and also to see you guys back here in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mark. Hopefully talk to you soon.
Yep,
Have a good
take
one.
care. Thanks again. Cheers.